guys, it's your girl Lady Anwar. Welcome back to my channel. I am here today doing an exclusive interview with a man who conned investors out of $29 million with the hope of them receiving gold in return. So the purpose of this interview is for your own protection. He is going to spill the beans and give us warning signs to look out for.
I'm glad that we can bring this out to the public and let them know some, like you say, some of the warning signs that they need to look for, and so that they're not taken advantage of.
You know what? That's awesome. I'm grateful that we actually met. So, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Now, you owned a firm in Lake Worth, Florida?
Correct.
Okay, it was called the Global Bullion Exchange?
Global Bullion Exchange.
Okay, Bullion Exchange. Okay. So when you created this business entity, was it your full intentions to scam people out of their money, or, what went wrong?
Okay, so no, that was not my intention at all. And I've been a commodity trader and stockbroker for many years before that. And I ended up going into the physical metals, where we are buying and selling physical assets: gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and the bullion, and hence the name, Global Bullion Exchange. So it morphed into a Ponzi scheme simply because, first of all, I made some very bad decisions. I trusted people that I probably shouldn't have trusted, and we weren't able to meet the commitments that we had made.
Okay.
And it was a leveraged position, which gets a little trickier. And to be honest, growing up as a kid, I don't really have a college education. So I was really out of my league. Okay. And I really didn't have great counsel at the time. I didn't have somebody to really guide me along. And I was making things up as I went. Like, what's the next step?
So let me ask you, so where did it actually go wrong? When did you realize, okay, oh shit, I'm over my head and this is the actual Ponzi scheme?
Right. So I was clearing trades through a company that ended up closing its doors and left me holding the bag, basically.
Wow.
So at that point, I had a decision to make. Am I going to go to the feds right then? Am I going to go to the FBI or whoever that may be, call the local 911? These are my choices at the time.
Yeah.
And or can I pay this back?
Okay.
Am I going to be able to basically make everything right with the money that I'm bringing in?
Okay.
This is where it all started to unravel and go wrong. I had probably close to over 100 people working for our company. We had offices all over the country. We were in Miami, we were in Jupiter, we were in Baltimore, we were in New Jersey, we were in New York.
Wow.
We were on Wall Street, so we had a lot of assets that were out there working for us. None of them knew what the underlying situation was.
Okay. So when you did realize that this was a Ponzi scheme, who were your actual prey? Like, who did you actually target to get this money back for the investors?
So what we were doing is we were calling business owners.
Okay.
First of all, if they're in business, they're making money. And they're at a different level of sophistication, generally.
Exactly, yeah.
If you're in business, you've been around the block a little bit.
Yeah. They know about the stock market, they know about,
Right.
numbers, and you were able to present all that to them.
They know about inflation.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that we were really targeting was inflation, because the metals are a perfect hedge to inflation. And actually, we're going through that situation right now.
Exactly.
When we continuously print money, as we're doing right now, as the Federal Reserve is continuously printing money, what happens to the value of money?
It devalues.
Exactly. So what people tend to do is they go to hard assets.
Okay.
Real money.
Okay.
Which is the metals. Historically, it's been silver and gold.
Okay.
So that's what we were doing. We were telling that story, and back in, this was in the 2006, 2007, 8, 9, when the economy was struggling.
Oh, yeah.
And we were seeing the housing market exploded, and we had that inflation, and metals were skyrocketing. So that's a little bit of what the problem was for me as well.
Yeah.
Because now we had money that was taken out of the business, which I had to cover, which was believed to be in gold and silver.
Yeah.
So now gold and silver is going higher, and at the time it was about a $6 million deficit.
Okay.
And that ballooned to about $17 million.
Wow.
I never planned on this being
A Ponzi.
a scam.
Yeah.
Where I was taking people's money. That was not the idea. The idea was to give people a hedge, and honestly, for me to make a living.
Of course,
a
of
good
course.
living.
You said it's a Ponzi scheme, so you was just trying to get the money to whoever and transfer the money and rotate it. So knowing you were conning these people at this point out of their money, how were you able to sleep at night?
This didn't start out as a scam, as a Ponzi. My stress level was from me not being able to solve the problem.
Okay.
Not from me ripping people off.
Okay.
I never felt that I was ripping people off.
Okay.
I felt I was trying to solve a problem.
Well, let me ask you this question. When did you realize you were over? When did you realize you was in over your head?
Okay. So when metals continuously started rising, now at the time I'm making $200,000-$300,000 a month. I'm thinking, and my bills were not anywhere near that, right? So I'm thinking I can pay $150,000 a month back into the program, buying metals and believing in my mind that it was going to equal out at some point.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought I would be able to solve that problem. As metals continue to run higher, I'm seeing like I can't catch up.
I'm in over my head.
I'm way over my head. And how does this all play out?
Yeah.
So to your point about how am I sleeping, I'm not sleeping because I'm ripping people off. I'm not sleeping because of the stress of the metals moving higher. I'm not able to cover that, and I'm not able to solve the problem. So, I'm waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and thinking, how can I do it? I can't do it.
Wow.
It's much bigger than I had ever thought it was going to be. I thought I'd be able to solve this issue quite easily, and it's not happening.
So when did the authorities kick in?
Okay, so the authorities never kicked in. I went to my attorney after thinking this through, 2 years later.
Okay.
Thinking, I can't solve it. How do I unwind this problem that I'm in? I said, Jim, here's the situation. This is where I'm at. And he was shocked. He was like, what? Okay.
At that point, did you have to get out the books and show him everything that was going on?
I did.
Okay.
And he brought in another attorney that was a federal prosecutor before, and he knows this end of the market, a criminal end of it.
Yeah.
And the thought was at the time that we were going to take everything to the CFTC, and it may just be a civil issue where we can try and cover, all the losses and make sure that everybody's made whole and with the CFTC. So the two of my attorneys, Jim Sala and Chris Bruno, go to meet the CFTC, and they're trying to keep this a civil issue. They call me from Washington, D.C. and say, unfortunately, the CFTC just referred this to the FBI. The issue was the the prosecution was saying, this is a gold scammer.
Exactly.
He never bought any metal. He was just out to take everybody's money. There was never any gold. There was never any silver.
Exactly.
I can show you records of millions and millions of dollars of
gold and silver and
gold and silver being bought from companies like Northwest Territorial Mint, and we have those invoices. I can show you and share with you if you'd like.
greed.
Right.
But greed did have a huge part of this.
Absolutely. Greed is, when you look at, I've always been well off making money.
Exactly.
Right? And so this is a continuation of making money.
I could definitely see how you got caught up in it.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Just me being a businesswoman myself. So I know how things go. So I could definitely understand your side. I can see both sides.
Yeah, when something stops your flow.
Exactly. What do you
How do you
resort
handle
to?
that?
Yeah. And you have a lifestyle to maintain.
That? Right.
Okay, so could you take me back a little bit, like when you were an actual child? Like, I know you never thought, or because you stated earlier that you don't have a college education. Right. You are an entrepreneur. Right. When did all this start for you? You becoming a businessman and, you knowing that you were going to beat adversity. When did you have that hunger to grow?
Very, very young.
Very young, you knew it.
We grew up, I grew up pretty poor. My mom was a waitress. She had 3 kids, and it was a struggle. But I will say this about my mom.
What's that?
She always had worn shoes. We always had brand new shoes.
Put you guys first.
Yeah. So, but, I didn't want to be poor.
Of course.
And I wanted to take care of my mom, my stepdad, who ended up coming into my life like when I was 11. And I think even before that, I was always mowing grass. I had a paper route, like 8 years old.
That's amazing.
I'm out there trying to hustle.
That's amazing. You always had it in you. My husband actually, he did the paper route from when he was 9 till he was 21.
Right.
So he's always had that entrepreneur mindset. Myself personally, I started braiding hair at the age of 11. Yeah. Then I bought my first rental property when I was 23 years old. So it's like I've always had that hustler, that entrepreneur mindset. Right. So I was just wondering, and I don't have a college education either. Right. But I am very intelligent. Yeah. I tell people all the time I'm not smart, I'm intelligent. It's a difference. And so your story is very intriguing. I'm grateful and thankful that you did come on here and give me, the inside scoop of what happened. But for the viewers' perspective, how can we help them from getting scammed?
So, a couple of the warning signs are, nowadays, Google.
Okay.
Just Google the company that you're working with. Google the person that you're working with. And not that it tells the whole story, as we can see, and I know very well. Yeah. But that's where I would definitely start. Your money is something that you work very hard for. Most people do.
Absolutely.
And really, you need to protect it and guard it and invest it wisely. A couple of the warning signs maybe that with my company that you could have seen earlier is, we were doing leverage, which is we were loaning you money to buy more metal, and we were charging you an interest rate on that.
Wow.
So, some more complex type investments, you really need to be cautious, and you should really consult with somebody maybe local to your area that you can trust, that you can actually walk down to their office, knock on their door.
Exactly.
So when it's over the phone, there's a higher percentages of chance that you're working with somebody that may not have your best interest in mind.
Now, would you say if it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true?
Not always.
Because there's a lot of people out here that just work regular 9-to-5 jobs, and they can't wait for an opportunity to invest their $50,000 and some $20,000 to make all this money.
Right.
So
I mean, as you know, in real estate, there's opportunity.
there is
You
opportunity.
can make a lot of money out there legally.
Yeah.
And with credible people. But I'm not talking about where you can make 8, 10, 12%. I'm talking about where you can make 100% return on different situations.
Exactly.
They're out there.
They're out there. That's
So
true.
don't be so cautious, and don't keep your guard up so far to cover your eyes where you don't see an opportunity in front of you. But when you do see those opportunities, make sure that you check them out thoroughly.
So what about giving that businessman some advice when they find themselves getting into deep?
Sometimes we go with the path of least resistance, and we think it's the easiest decision to make, can get you in a lot more trouble. And one of the things I would say is really be honest with yourself. Don't try and trick yourself, and this is what I did, that I can make this all work, and if you are feeling any way like that, if you know that there's something wrong, and especially if it's illegal, and if you are going to hurt somebody, or the possibility of somebody getting hurt, talk to somebody, open up. I didn't talk to I didn't talk to the closest person to me was my brother. I didn't talk to him about it. If I would have talked to one person, they probably would have said, "What are you thinking?"
Yeah. Now that this is all behind you, what are you doing now with your time?
Okay, so I did do time. I did 6 years, and I paid my dues. And some people think it's not enough, and myself, I think it's probably not enough for what happened. The result and how I affected people's lives. And I take that very serious. I feel horrible about what happened to people. But all I can do is move forward and make the rest of my life count for something. So I have done a lot of community work. I've worked with the Foundation for Foster Children, which is something that I really truly believe is needed. There's kids out there that don't have love in their lives. they don't have somebody that thinks about them and how they can help them to move into a great life. And life is beautiful.
That's true.
So today, moving into real estate, we're working to buy multi-unit properties that can carry the cost of the property plus a little extra.
Of course.
And in that extra will always be something for my cause, which is foster children. So we're going to take a percentage of everything that we make and help out less fortunate people.
You know, I forgive you. So, you know, hopefully others can. You know, I feel the warmness in your heart. You know, and this probably, you know, everything happened for a reason. This was supposed to happen, unfortunately.
Right.
You know, because now look at the outstanding person you are now. You know, now you want to tap into helping foster kids, and you know, you're tapping into that untapped potential that you probably was just pushing on the back burner. And so it's like now it's time for you to kick in and serve your purpose and do what you're meant to, you know, what you're meant to do. And of course, money will come, you know, will come with that. So now you're just living a purposeful life. And yeah, I think you're a mastermind. I mean, you held off for as long as you could. And what was really impressive about your story is you didn't wait for them to come knocking on your door. You surrendered. Hey, I can't do it no more. What can I do? I need help. And so, you know, you did your time, and it's time to move forward and help these foster kids and touch somebody's heart. You know, prevent something from happening before it's too late. If you need any advice on real estate or whatever, just holler at me. Holler at your girl.
Because I see you doing big things out there.
Oh yeah. Also, I wear this green for you. I know you love money.
Yes.
All right,
Because,
baby.
and not for the love of money.
Yeah.
It's for what money can do.
What money can do.
And you can change a lot of people's lives.
You can.
Really, for the better.
Look what you're doing.
Yeah.
Look at you. Those foster kids, they need you. They needed you to step up. They needed you to do that time for them. That's what you did it for.
Yeah.
So let's get to the money.
I'm Chance. This is Lady Onwar's channel, and I am her son. And like and subscribe, and hit the bell.